Day 6 of the Babylon 5 experiment, and it was for the 31st. It was supposed to be for the 31st. It bled into the 1st because of our ceremonial technopocalypse, and we are now done with the Shadow. And when I think of Babylon 5, I think of it as the Shadow War. It's interesting to see Joe Straczynski work on other things after that, but I really feel like pretty much when the Shadow War is over, I've gotten the point of the series. At least I think I have. I am able to follow a lot of the analogies in the show very well. I'm able to follow what I think are racial analogies and national analogies. When it comes to the shadows, that I still have trouble puzzling it out. And you may be sitting there thinking, it's so obvious, it's this or it's that. Everything else in the show is so clear-cut, and yet this, it's clear-cut in terms of what it's representing. But this is very different. I will say that it all paid off. It actually did. I didn't know if I would be saying that, but a lot of the stuff that had been tedious, that I wondered, why am I spending this time with these characters? Joe delivered a payoff like I never would have expected. And it has to be in the context of all of the prior episodes. Tremendous stuff with Veer and Londo. Special props to Stephen Furst. Special props to Claudia Christian, who did her finest acting in a two-hander with Sheridan shortly before the big war. Some wonderful stuff with Garibaldi and G'Kar. It actually was the moment that made me tear up. It's when G'Kar welcomed him home, and I realized that for all of these people, Babylon 5 is their home. It really, honestly is. And Joe has made me believe that. I never would have expected that would have happened, and I'm thrilled. When I have trouble with the writing, it's when I feel like the author is louder than the characters. It's when I hear a joke that just doesn't sit right. It doesn't feel organic. Or when I hear a speech that maybe is a little too forced or affected. I'm hearing him. What was amazing with the two episodes that really summed up the war, Into the Fire and the one prior to that, was that I heard the characters. I heard very important points, but I heard them coming from the characters. And that can only come from 3 years of very confident writing, which he had the chance to do, and 3 years of very confident acting. I will inevitably want to compare this to DS9. The main comparison I can give is they're totally different. They really are. I know a lot of people who've done a lot of finger pointing. I never did. I had preferences, but never finger pointing. And I'm still not gonna go, oh, one's better than the other or anything like that. Because they are so very different. And I would love to do a video where I just talk about DS9, and I may, because I can. But when I think about this story, for me, the greatest special effect in all of Star Trek is the fact that we are an evolved species in Star Trek. Somehow, we have gotten to a point where a lot of the human pettiness is behind us. When I would approach Babylon 5 before, I kept thinking, humans need to be better than they need to be like they are in Star Trek, because that's how we will be in the future. What I failed to take into account is that the future is awfully big, and at what point in the future will we reach that enlightened, evolved state? When Star Trek happens, we've already gotten there, and that's wonderful. I think that's cool. I know the writers hated it because they weren't able to create a lot of conflict with the characters, although they did a pretty good job of DS9. Have I mentioned I like DS9? In the Straczynski-verse, in Babylon 5, what I think I am seeing is not a refutation of Roddenberry. It is a description of one of the things that humans will have to go through to get to what Gene was talking about. That's a tough thing. That's a big challenge. How do you pull that off? In Star Trek, they allude to it with World War III. But what was that? Or we don't really know. Was it the Romulan War? Well, that takes place after Enterprise, so maybe, but I don't think so. When G'Kar got back to the station, when he hugged Garibaldi, sang to him, welcome home. Even though I know the sets are sets, I know that the walls are made out of a type of linoleum called Loncoin, bought from a man named David Copay, who, with a name like that, really should have been working in the insurance business. I forgot all of that. I think that many people go to television series that take place in one spot because they want a home. Maybe they don't like the home that they're in, and maybe they just don't have one. Certainly Dark Shadows provides, DS9 provides that, Babylon 5 provides that.